Sylvain Barbot. He joins me from Los Angeles. He's a professor of earth sciences at the University of Southern Carolina. Professor, thank you for your time. Appreciate you joining us on the program. My first question to you would be whether this is an earthquake or an aftershock after the large two earthquakes we felt 2 weeks ago. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good question. So every large main shock is followed by hundreds, if not thousands, of aftershocks of decaying magnitude. And occasionally, within that very long sequence, an aftershocks of larger magnitude than most suddenly appears. And so this is not unexpected, and we typically expect aftershocks to be about 1 moment magnitude lower than their main shock. And so if you have a main shock of moment magnitude 7 or so, you would expect an aftershock of a magnitude 6. And so this is what has happened here, except that there has been 2 weeks or multiple days delays between the main shock and the aftershock. But unfortunately, every large earthquake, like the ones that happened on February 6th, are always followed by a large quantity of small amplitude aftershocks, and this one is one of them, yes.
So can you just get into detail about what exactly is happening beneath the Earth's crust for us to experience an aftershock of such a high magnitude?
That's right. A lot of things happened hidden underneath the Earth's surface. And when a large earthquake happens, it basically redistributes the forces that accumulated to make this earthquake happen. And it loads other faults or other regions of the same fault and can, in the process, trigger some aftershocks. And so what happens is that when an earthquake happens, the stress is concentrated at the northern and southern limits of the rupture. And so this is why today you see a lot of aftershocks in the central region of the East Anatolian Fault and in the southern limit, which is where Antakya is located. So there's a lot of small magnitude aftershocks that happen in these regions or at any other region where the faults change orientation. So that leads to some concentration of forces that concentrate aftershocks. And so today we had a very large aftershocks near Antakya in a region that we expect aftershocks to concentrate. And some others have concentrated farther north, where the East Anatolian Fault also changes course, changes angles, if you will, and to the northernmost limit of the February 6 main shocks. And so these are areas where we expect earthquakes, and that's why they are concentrated there.
I've got to tell you, Professor, this is an incredibly scary conversation to have, particularly because we can't predict when these things will happen, and no one seems to really understand why aftershocks continue for so long after a main earthquake. But based on your research and your experience, how long is this going to go on for?
Oh, unfortunately, this may continue for months. The good news, though, is that earthquakes are expected overall, on average, to be of decaying magnitude and decaying intensity. So it basically fades away a week after another. It's of less and less amplitude. With the occasional large earthquakes that can happen in the middle of that sequence. And in reality, it can take several years for this to continue to dissipate and transition to what we call background seismicity, the everyday, every year small earthquakes that happen in tectonic hotspots.
Fascinating. Sylvain Barbot of the University of Southern California, thank you for your time once more.